Today we're going to dig into a really powerful idea from the one and only Bob Proctor. It's this core belief that your financial reality, it's just a mirror. It's not reflecting what's in your bank account, but what's going on in your mind.
So, let's start with a really strange question. How is it possible that a group of the world's absolute richest men, these guys controlled more money than the entire US government at the time, how did they end up dying broke, insane, or even by suicide? This isn't just some weird historical fact, it's a paradox that gets right to the heart of what wealth really is.
And that leads us right into our first section here, the financier's paradox. It's a story that really challenges everything we think we know about having money.
Just take a look at the fates of these men. Back in 1923, they were the titans, the absolute giants of industry, meeting at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago. You had Charles Schwab, head of the largest steel company. He died bankrupt. Howard Hobson, of the largest gas company, went insane. Jesse Livermore, the legendary Wall Street trader, and Ivar Kruger, the match king, both of them took their own lives. You see the pattern here? The lesson is so clear. They were absolute masters at the game of making money, but they had no idea how to create a rich life.
This whole story just proves that piling up cash is not the answer to living a rich, fulfilled life. So if just having money isn't the key, then what is the missing piece of this whole puzzle?
And that brings us right to Bob Proctor's answer, a concept he called prosperity consciousness.
Now this quote, it just flips everything you think you know on its head. Most of us think, well, if I just had more money, then I'd finally feel comfortable. But Proctor says, no, you've got it backward. Wealth is an effect. It's not the cause. You have to develop that internal feeling of abundance first before it can ever show up in your life.
So what exactly is this prosperity consciousness? Well, it's that inner feeling, that deep down belief in abundance that has to exist before wealth can actually show up in physical form. It's an inside job, not something that happens to you from the outside.
So how does this actually work? Well, Proctor breaks it down into a super simple, three-step creative process. Everything starts in the spiritual plane with a thought, just pure, unformed potential. That thought then gets shaped into a specific idea on the intellectual plane of your mind. And only then does it manifest as a thing, a physical result in your world. From spirit to intellect to physical. That's the universal order of how everything is created.
And this right here, this is the trap that most of us fall into. We try to work in reverse. We look at our current results, the thing, and we let that control our thoughts. So an empty bank account leads to thoughts of lack and scarcity, which creates an idea of poverty, which then, you guessed it, just creates the exact same poor result. It becomes this vicious, self-fulfilling cycle.
Okay, so how do we break out of that cycle? It all starts with harnessing our next big concept, the power of an image.
Really think about it. The chair you're sitting on right now, the phone or a computer you're watching this on, none of it just magically appeared. Someone, somewhere, first held a clear image of it in their mind. Every single invention, every piece of art, every building, it all began as a mental image. The image always comes before the physical reality. Always.
And hey, this isn't just some nice theory. Let's look at a real-world story of a guy named Paul Hutsey. He was a manager at Prudential Insurance, and for the longest time, his office was just stuck. They were ranked 175 in the company and just couldn't seem to move. And this quote just captures his struggle perfectly. You can feel the frustration, right? He knew deep down that his team was way better than their ranking showed, but his reality wasn't matching his belief. He was totally trapped by the result, just constantly looking at that number, 175, and feeling stuck. So here's the key. This is the mental shift he made. His old image was all reactive. He was letting the number on the paper dictate his whole mindset. But his new image, that was creative. He decided to hold the image of being a top 100 office first. He and his team started to act, think, and just carry themselves like a top-tier office, completely ignoring their current rank. They started using an image to create their results instead of the other way around. And the result of this shift? Well, it was absolutely staggering. Within just 6 months, his office didn't just crack the top 100, they rocketed all the way up to number 11 in the entire company. It's just such powerful proof of what happens when you focus on the inner image, not the outer circumstances.
But hold on, there's one more really important piece to this whole process. It's not about gritting your teeth and forcing the outcome. Proctor called this final step let go and let God, which is really just about surrendering to the creative process.
See, this is all about understanding your role in creation. Your job is to get crystal clear and build that detailed, emotionally charged image of what you want. That's it. Your job is done. The how, the path, the people, the opportunities, that's not your business. That's the work of a higher power, the universe, or what Proctor called spirit. You absolutely have to release your grip on the how.
And to do that, that requires faith. And faith, in this context, it's not just wishful thinking. Proctor has a beautiful definition for it. Faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible. And that belief is what allows you to receive what almost everyone else calls impossible. It's the creative force that connects your inner image to its outer form.
Okay, so we've covered the paradox, the consciousness, the power of an image, and the need for faith. So, what's your first step? How do you actually put all of this into practice? Let's just boil it all down into 2 simple steps you can take, like right now. Step 1, relax and see. Don't force anything. Just in your mind's eye, see yourself already having the thing you desire. Feel what it feels like for it to be real. And step 2, let go and trust. As soon as you've created that image and that feeling, your work is done. Trust that the path for it to become real will be shown to you. Just remember, your job is the what, not the how.
And we'll just leave you with this powerful thought, something that was echoed by Abraham Lincoln. It's easy to believe in what you can already see and touch. That's not really belief at all, is it? The real work and the real triumph is to believe in the unseen. It's holding on to that inner image with absolute conviction, knowing that your consciousness is the very force that will bring it into your reality.